In a time where all the OG space odysseys are out of style, like Star Trek is less relevant than the Dallas Cowboys, and Star Wars has canceled more projects than Twitter has celebrities, a series based on books about people doing drugs with witches has successfully taken the world by sandstorm. Dune Prophecy is the first spin-off of the Dune movies based off of the books of the same name, and is currently streaming on HBO Max with its first episode, which just hit. In here, we see 1,000 years in the past of Arrakis and the world of Dune, in which the Sisterhood begins to seek its power play to begin to control and manipulate the system after the fall of Tech. And we see how houses were created, the secrets and webs of lies and danger that will soon emerge. Something I'd like to get out of the way up front is this show is not made by Denis Villeneuve. It is made by some of the people connected to that, but very few. It's kind of detached, but something to just kind of expand the world, and probably just to keep this relevant in the minds of people until the hopefully coming out soon Dune 3. So for the inevitable question, is it as good as the movies? No. Is it going to work for you if you don't keep up with the world of Dune? Probably not. But if you like Dune, if you're invested in it, is it still pretty good? I'd say it's better than that. This show really does a good job of adding a grander scope to Dune. Something also just a little bit juicier and a little more of that. Like, this show is very good. Its production budget shows on screen. The performances in here are great. The sets are awesome. The production design, the script, the direction. I was genuinely hooked and deeply invested in this first episode. A lot of people were making comparisons saying it's kind of like Game of Thrones, and if I'm being honest, it is. It's even got that kind of sexual thing going on. Like in here, there's these people who kind of run this sexual thing. It's like a place where people can come in and just bang it out. So yeah, this back in the day when selling people for sex and making money off of them was common practice, the good old days. The show does do a really good job of setting up this world we're in, because we're in something that's familiar but farther back, and it has a dual job of telling its own story while also connecting itself and adding and explaining what we see in the Dune movies. And in the first episode at least, it does a fantastic job of that. It really is good, and it's juicy. Pretty much every line spoken in here is of importance. There's not a lot of filler or fluff. This show is doing a very good job of doing what it needs to do in an intriguing and a very enticing way. You can't look away from the show. There's something about it. It keeps you locked in the entire time. And that's from the score to the production to the performances. I keep mentioning that because that is what this really is. It is a combination of everything that should make something great put together into one and combined into something that keeps you invested. Also, I'm not going to give spoilers for anything that happens, even though there isn't much spoilery stuff to talk about. It definitely has things that I don't want to give away without you watching the show yourself. I will say the show also, in the second half of the first episode, really picks up. As much as I was hooked from the beginning, I think it got only better as it went on, and my god, I can't wait for the next episode of this to come out. It is truly great. I think the visual effects are good, but more so than anything, I want to see where this story is going to go. I want to know what's going to happen next. And successfully doing that, after I have been exposed to so many shows where I watch the first episode, and halfway through I'm checking the timestamp, seeing how much is left, this is good. I am invested. I will say, though, the episode is not flawless. It does have some pacing issues towards the beginning, and it is trying to explain so much. Some of the exposition can come off as heavy-handed at times, if I'm being honest. But other than that, this show is great. It has a vibe to it. Something that just feels otherworldly and magnificent and grand. It feels like a miniature blockbuster. And it's so good at what it does. I totally recommend you starting the show. How it's going to pan out and end, I don't know. But as for just the first episode, this looks promising. This looks very good, and I'm excited to see where this goes, because who knows what it'll be due next. So thank you guys, as always, so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you all next time.